Welcome back, guys, to All Things CAD. This is kind of my second video on Fusion. If you guys want to see how to set up a Fusion file and how to do some basic sketches, you can kind of see the remnants of my old video on here. Then go ahead and check out the previous video, probably going to be titled something along the lines of A Fusion for Beginners #1. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use the extrude feature, which allows you to turn something into 3D. So we are back here with the same file opened up on Fusion. I'm just going to go ahead and start anew. As you guys were showed in the other video, we're just going to create a sketch here, and let's do that on the XY plane, X, Y, and let's do a rectangle, but we're going to go down and we're going to go center rectangle, so that way we can center it around the origin. We're gonna pull it to 100 by 100 square. Now, something quickly before I click Finish Sketch is you guys can see that these double lines are showing you that these two are parallel and these two are parallel, and then here that these two are perpendicular to each other. These two, if this line was to continue, and so is this one, they would be perpendicular to each other. So that's something you may see on a lot of different things if you're like, oh, what are all these weird symbols, right? So that's just some extra things that Fusion adds you to help out. As you can see, it highlights the one it's across from, and this is just showing you that it is, these two lines are perpendicular. All right, so we're going to finish the sketch, and we're going to click this little corner and go back to 3D. So we drew that sketch on the XY graph. It is only in 2D. Kind of looking at a square piece of paper. And you're thinking, I want a cardboard box, not a square piece of paper. You know, I don't want one side, I want a cube. That's what this little extrude is, right next to create sketch. Another very important feature, and that's why it's right next to the create sketch button. This is another one that you're going to use a lot, right? Revolve is a similar type of extrude. You have hole, which you can also use extrude to create a hole, but I'll show you that later. So we're going to click extrude, and over here it's going to ask you what type of extrude. Do you want this extrude, where it's going to extrude the whole thing? Or maybe you want a thin extrude, where it extrudes, it extrudes only a thin bit, where you can, down here in wall thickness, select how thick you want it to be. So if we want a cardboard box, as I said earlier, it's not going to be a solid, tungsten cube. It's going to be something like this with a wall thickness of probably not 1 millimeter. Let's give it something like 8 millimeters, right? A little bit thick. Oh, that's pretty thick. Let's go 5. Right, that looks a bit better. Now, as you can see here, I can X out. I have to select my profile, right? Obviously, I only have one profile, so it's a lot easier to select. Now, this means I'm starting directly on this plane, right? That cuts along through the x-axis. If I click offset, I can offset it, 30 millimeters. Now I'm starting the extrude 30 millimeters away. As you can see, this distance here is going to be 30 millimeters away from the original profile, as they call it. So we're going to go back to profile plane because we want to extrude directly out from that sketch we made. And we can now, you can also do this. Now this is to a different object. If I have a different sketch over here that I want to extrude it to, I can kind of snap it to that point and it'll fill in between the objects. We're just going to go distance. Taper angle is something you don't need to worry about now, but basically if you have a wall that thins or sticks out or gets thinner, as you can guys see there, it now extrudes out, and now it's not exactly a box. It's almost like a trapezoidal thing that's only going to get bigger. You can see now as I pull it out. Kind of looks like one of those old TVs, before we had the flat screens. So I actually don't want a taper angle, so I'm going to turn that back down to 0. And we're going to extrude this thing 50, right? Do we want 50? Or do we want more? Let's go 70 was better. Let's go 70. And now if I click, before I click OK, there's different things I can do. Now, these don't mean anything to you right now. They will in a sec. New body is OK. We're going to click OK, and boom. We now have ourselves one body. This project has multiple faces, but it is one body, right? It's one component. So I go over here to browser. You can see a couple things. If I click down on bodies, there's one body, right? I can rename and I can call this box. But if we go down to sketches, there's one sketch. Boom. Third sketch. That sketch is our original sketch. It created 2 more sketches. Well, actually, these sketches you don't see are the ones I deleted of the circle. So these circles that you saw at the beginning of the video from the old video, I just deleted them. I didn't completely remove them, so you can kind of see graveyard of my sketches there. But yeah, I have one thing now. So now, what if I say, well, I have a box, but the box I want to build has a hole, right? I'm going to create another sketch. And once again, it shows us these 3 planes we can do it on in orange. Now, what if I told you you could also create a sketch on any of these planes we created? So if I click this, I am now sketching on this top face of the box. That's what my sketch is on. And now I want to say, I want to put a hole in the center. So I'm going to go there to there. It's 70 millimeters across, which is how far we extruded. So if I create a center circle, that is 35. That's right in the middle. And say I want it to be 40 millimeters in diameter. Click enter. Boom. I now have this sketch. You're thinking, wow. Well, now I have a hole, but it's not cut. Well, earlier, when I was showing you guys the extrude of the other one, I let it be a new body. But there's more than just those options. If I click here and I pull down, right, it's going to show it in -40, right? But I can change this operation. See how it did it for me automatically. But I can change it to cut. Now, if I was to go up, it changes to join. And if I were to click OK, now this body continues to be one body. But if I go back and I extrude again, and I do, and I don't cut it, but I change join to new body, okay, it's once again kind of look like a Lego piece. But now I have 2 bodies. This is one body, and this is another body. Now, bodies are not quite important to us at the moment, but they will be when you're doing larger projects. Right, now once again, I want to cut through this, so I'm going to click this, change it to cut, and now I'm just going to pull down. Now, because it's a cut because it's a cut, I can kind of pull down however far I want, you know? I say I want to cut down there. Well, let's call it 100 because I know my box is 100. We'll go there, 100. And I click OK. Boom. It is cut through. And because it's a cut, it doesn't create a new body. So now we have this box. But if I go down to sketches, you'll see sketch number 4. It's just showing you the plane that I sketched it on. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys today is a really cool one called Fillet. Now, funnily enough, I just realized we created the shell, which is another kind of advanced way to do what we just did. But we're going to use the fillet. Now say, okay, I have my box. It's not really a box because it doesn't have 2 of the sides. There's a hole cut in the top, but the one that I want has curved edges on the sides. And I know the curved edges have a certain radii or a certain diameter that I either know or the manufacturer gave to me, or maybe I'm just guessing, right? We're going to click this fillet. And the radius type is going to stay. You're not going to change anything on here. You can sometimes change this depending on what kind of corner it is, right? Sometimes if the corners you want a bit more of a wider curved corner, you can do setback, but rolling ball's good for now. And you're going to select all the edges that you want to curve. So say I select these 4 top edges, and now I can either drag like that, as you guys can see, or I can set it. So what if I set this to 3 and click OK? Boom, look at that. Curved edges all the way around. Now I could have selected every single line on here, every single edge, and curved everything, right? Now, like I showed you on the last video, if you click S, type in F, boom, fillet is there as well. If you can't find it up here, it's always going to be up here in solids. You can also curve these insides. Let's say we want to go to 3 as well. Boom, okay. Now look, now you have this, now the inside's curved. And if you want, I'm going to show you on this corner here, if we do it, I'll do a rolling ball on this corner. Okay, so you can kind of see the rolling ball corner there, similar to this one up here. But if I go to this corner, just for the sake of it, I can show you guys setback, go 3 as well, and you can kind of see a difference here. Whoops, it's not as, can't really see the difference now when I zoomed in that far, but here you can kind of see it a little bit between these 2 corners. You can see how, if we just go there, you can see now more clearly the difference there. As I said, it's a bit more of a wider curve. It's a bit more gradual. This is almost what you see on like the fidget toys, curves more like that. A bit more of a manufactured look compared to this one here. But yeah, that's some simple things you guys can use. That's how you turn a 2D sketch using Extrude into something 3D. You can do it thin here like I showed you. You could have extruded it as a solid block. You can use Extrude to cut things. You can also use fillet to curve edges in more than one way, with the rolling edge or the setback edge. And you can choose how much you want the edges to be curved or not at all, depending on what you're trying to build. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope that I could help you guys out. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment if there's anything that you want me to show in the video. I will gladly do so. So hopefully I was able to help you guys today, and I'll catch you in the next one.